Hello and welcome to Pop Snitch Pod. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Brandon.
And we are finally back. We are back in the US of A. I've got a little puppy on my lap. We're watching our neighbor's dog, so he might make some noises. Apologies in advance.
He will make noise. I'm doing good. We just got back from our vacation to Barcelona. It was our first time there. It's an important note.
Barcelona. I
think the main thing I took away from the trip is that we've created an environment in our bedroom where I cannot get a good night's sleep anywhere but in our bedroom, because we have I don't know what it would be called, like a shop fan, like an industrial shop fan that's used in mechanics use this in the garage. And that is blowing directly on me. We have a movable base to our bed to get the right positioning. We have a sub-zero temperature going on. And so if I'm not in those exact movements, if I'm not in that exact situation, I can't sleep at all. I think I might have gotten, on the nights that I did sleep, I think I got 4 hours a night.
Yeah. And it's crazy because it was a 5-star hotel, one of the nicest hotels we've ever stayed at.
Absolutely. By far the nicest.
But I think it's hard to tell what's happening because we had insane jet lag. I mean, really, if you're going to Europe, you're going to end up doing either a really early morning or a later afternoon to evening flight. And so ours landed us in Barcelona at 5:30 in the morning. And that was actually really lucky because when we got there, a room was ready. But it just means that we did not sleep on the plane overnight. It felt like midnight our time, but we had to get up and get going to get on the 6-hour time difference. And then the first night we were there was our anniversary. And so we were like, oh my gosh, it's vacation. Let's go. And we did a late afternoon tapas and wine, had 2 glasses of wine, but was eating, right? We were eating.
A ton of food, way too much food,
much food
to then be leaving there to go to
dinner. But we hadn't eaten all day. We went back to the room, fell asleep for a while, got up, got ready, unpacked, did a little exploring, and then did that. And so we got to dinner that night. Our reservation was for 7:30, and you would have thought we showed up at 3 p.m. They were like, the restaurant's not quite ready. You're here so early. How embarrassing for you. But the guy at the bar was so sweet. Loved him, Andrea, and made us these incredible cocktails, some of the best cocktails I've ever had. And we drank, oh my God, we drank those cocktails. And then after we tipped well, when we paid for our food. So as we're trying to eat dessert, they just keep coming out with alcohol. Oh, on the house, here's wine. And we're like, oh, huh. And then they're like, here's limoncello. And we're like, oh, huh. And they're like, do you want more wine? And I'm like, I will die. I will actually perish in this restaurant if I drink one more thing.
Well, so just to give the full count now, we're at 2 glasses of wine apiece. Heavy pours, and a shot.
That was at the previous place.
So that's before we've even gotten to the restaurant. We get to the restaurant, we have two cocktails, 2 very heavy cocktails. Then we go to the table. We order 2 more cocktails per person.
That's right. Oh, Jesus.
Then we had the wine they brought us for free. Then the shot they bought us for free. And then they were trying to bring us more.
They were trying to bring us champagne. And I was
literally never drink more than 2 drinks at a dinner.
Yeah, it's rare.
And
it's rare if we drink more than 2.
Was schmammered drunk.
Strangely, I think because we're eating so much too, I did not feel drunk. In the moment. Now, do I remember going back to our hotel? No.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Was I functional and not sick? Yes. Did I have all of my wits about me? Absolutely not. And as somebody who's very rarely not having their wits about them, it was not an ideal situation. But when we got to the hotel, Rachel immediately, this is par for the course, collapses on the bed and just falls asleep. I don't know how. I think you did change your clothes, get into pajamas.
One thing about drunk me that I love, I'm so proud of her, is that she always washes her face.
She's learned a lesson or 2 in her days.
Listen, I'm an elder millennial. We went hard in our 20s and early 30s. Word. So I've learned some lessons. My body, my subconscious is you're so drunk, you don't know your name. You are going to wash your face. You are going to put on your retinol. You are going to, change your clothes. I think I've only slept in my clothes or like been that out of it probably like 2 or 3 times. But no, I went back, I did my thing, and then I immediately collapsed into sleep.
I stayed up for a while watching TV and stuff. I couldn't sleep, like I said before, but I fell asleep for maybe like 4 hours, and I woke up in the middle of the night with the most splitting headache I have ever had in my life. I mean, literally felt like somebody had just taken a freaking axe and planted it in the dead center of my face. And oh my gosh, I tried to find water in our room. I could not find water anywhere.
There was so much water that we found the next
listen,
day.
let me tell the story. So it's pitch black dark. I don't want to wake Rachel up. So I'm like trying to I find our mini bar. I open it up. There's no water in there. So I take out this like energy drink thing, and
Genius.
that's like
when you couldn't sleep.
It's water, and it's not energy drink. It's like water infused with magnesium. So, I mean, I would imagine it would help you to sleep.
Yeah, it should have.
I kill that. I'm trying to decide if I can even drink the water there. I mean, I assume that I can, but I go and get a glass of the water from the sink and like try to go back to bed, and I cannot get back to sleep. My head is pounding. We wake up in the morning, and little did we know, we both had like 2 bottles of water on our nightstands that I could not see in the middle of the night.
Now, throughout our meals, I think we maybe each had like half a glass of water, and this indeed was the problem.
I had 2 ounces of water the whole 25-hour period on the way up.
And we had been dehydrated from flying. So we went from like flight dehydration, no water, to sleeping, to getting up, to just drinking wine and liquor, just all mixed in. All kinds of different liquors, all kinds of different wine.
I mean, this might be a little TMI for people, but like when I went to the bathroom in the middle of the night, it was literally so dark.
Your pee?
Yes, the pee.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, it was like syrup.
Ew. Oh my God. Well, I heard you get up. What woke me up in the middle of the night was Brandon barfing everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And then the next morning, I looked at him and I was like, what is wrong with your eye? And he had thrown up so much, he'd given himself a black eye.
Well, and the thing is like, did I drink enough alcohol to cause me to throw up? The answer to that is probably yes. But I will also say I had the weirdest concoction of food that any one person could have eaten. We did have a
weird concoction.
Any person could have eaten right off of a plane, completely dehydrated. I mean, I had Iberian pork. I had some sort of cheese mustard dish. I had like basically like a steak pot pie.
Yeah.
And then I had like some sort of, what did you have to eat?
It was, at the restaurant?
Lobster spaghetti, and then followed up by an entire beef Wellington.
It was so good. I could not eat all of it. Brandon hossed all of his down. I was like, no, it's not happening. I'll die.
And the shots, mind you, were not like normal shots. One of them was like some Kahlua-based chocolate.
Oh, yeah, that was a mistake.
And then the other one, I can't remember what it was, but it was not, it was all odd. And we mixed, not that I really believe in the whole like, beer before liquor, never sicker, liquor before beer in the clear, but I was mixing and matching all kinds of different alcohols and stuff throughout that whole process.
It was a mess. I do
believe
I
it was
woke up
just
with
not
a really bad hangover.
Ill-fated.
But we recovered and had a lovely time. It was some of the, I will say, I think the museums in Barcelona are some of my favorite that I've been to because they are large enough in square footage, but have like really focused exhibits. They all have the audio thing that you can take with you, which is really nice. And then we did guided tours of like the parks and the Sagrada Familia. It was
never
stunning.
Not doing another non-guide. Well, I'll say I'm never going for my first time to a museum unguided.
Yeah.
I do believe that in any museum, especially like, I'm sorry, I mean, call me uncultured, but I can't walk into just a random museum and immediately start spotting pieces that I know. I mean, I know some big ones, probably more so than some people, but I need some direction. I need to know what's going on. I would need to know why it's important. That makes it more interesting to me.
Well, and I feel like when you have a guide, they are telling you a story and they can like walk you through different parts of this narrative throughout different parts of the museum and make it all connect for you in a way that just viewing and reading the sides of things is not going to do. And the guide who took us through Picasso, I was obsessed with him. He was so fun.
Oh, yeah, he was great. But we have, I mean, it was an incredible trip. And
although I have decided I don't ever want to travel with boomer women. They nearly ruined our trip on several occasions. The woman on the flight next to you who couldn't stop throwing her stuff on the floor and spreading all over the plane. At the end of the plane, once we landed, one of the flight attendants came with a giant water bottle and was like, somehow I knew this was yours, and handed it to her. And she's like, ah! And I'm like, that was not a compliment.
Well, I mean, speaking of boomers, we've talked about and just like that on this program many a time.
We haven't.
But one picture I saw before I left literally left me in such a state that I haven't recovered from it first. And that's that picture I showed you of Chris Noth walking around in New York on 2 sticks.
Well, I'm sorry he fell off a Peloton, Brandon, and died. This is him coming back.
I mean, literally, this man was walking around. He's gained, I'd say, 50 pounds minimum.
All in his titties.
and he's walking around on sticks.
Brandon, that's what happens. Like, listen, this man is elderly now.
I mean, he's the sticks with the
I do fear
arm gripper.
Yeah, they're not called sticks. I don't know what they're called, but I feel certain it's not sticks. He's not walking around on sticks.
I mean, that karma caught up with him. Those allegations, he did not beat the allegations.
He did not.
And man, somebody came for his soul on that one. He's descending quickly.
Yeah, no, that was tough. It's also like the gray shirt. When men are sweating, they should not wear gray.
I gotta pull this pick up. I gotta pull the pick up in the when we actually make this. I'll pull the pick up and you can see.
Yeah, it's tough. It's bad. But let him live. People should be able to age.
Yeah, for sure. But there's something that's happened. He's paying the reaper for something.
We nailed it. Karma.
Yeah.
Karma is what's happening.
Yeah. Oh my word.
All right. Well, let's get into all of the pop culture that we missed in the last 2 weeks.
All right. Let's hear it.
You've got a list of things that you wanted to talk about.
Well, I mean, the first thing that we missed was the Love Island of it all. The Love Island reunion hosted by Ariana Madix and Andy Cohen, which I thought great pairing. I think she needed Andy. I mean, that was pretty obvious, not because I don't think she's a good host, but like you really have to have experience being able to push in on people without shutting them down. And Andy did, as always, did an incredible job with this. So what's your initial take on like Brian and Amaya's energy? We obviously know kind of now what's happened, but what was your view of like how they were interacting on the show?
On the show or on the reunion?
On the reunion.
I think it was clear that they had broken up prior to that and were trying to be like, ha, and then like the next day they unfollowed each other. So,
and my question is, what happened at this club? I mean,
clearly he did something inappropriate.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also saw that Pepe and Iris had broken up like right after. And well, I guess they filmed like 2 weeks ago. I can't remember. Pepe and Iris broke up and now she is hanging out with TJ, which
of course. Well, and even in the whole thing, there was that very weird interaction between Iris and Pepe where they were trying to describe their relationship and she's like, we're dating, but we're not boyfriend and girlfriend. Pepe thinks that being, dating means that you are boyfriend and girlfriend. And then Andy's like, well, do you want to be his girlfriend? And she's like, no, well, I don't know.
It's like, no, she does not.
Meanwhile, TJ's sitting over there like,
he's like, I know something you don't know.
Literally. And then the one line that Amaya had that was just, I've missed Amaya. Her
She's
energy,
so funny.
She needs to be on TV. Bring her back, give her a show, something. But the whole thing is like, when she was like, I wouldn't be with him if this wasn't perfect. And I was like, what? I was
Yeah.
like, I'm like, that's interesting. She's like, they were like, well, obviously if people think he did something, it seems like online there are pictures of things and people talking. It's like, how do you feel about that? She's like, well, just know I wouldn't be with them. I respect myself. If this wasn't perfect, I wouldn't be with them. So I think she pretty much just followed up on that and dumped him.
Yeah. I'm assuming she was trying to keep it copacetic through the reunion and then was like, all right, we're done. That's pretty par for the course with a lot of these shows too. If they're like on the edge of it, then they'll wait until after the reunion because they don't want to be asked about it.
Yeah.
And delve into the why of it all, so they'll hide it until after.
So the first time that they bring up Huda is in the Standing on Business challenge where she wrote the thing about Grayson. Mm-hmm. And they've like talked to Grayson and, they like go into all this Huda thing. But like, this is the first instance of the show where we see this new Huda who cannot be activated. She's apologizing for things, but being like, oh, I was just this and that, like apologizing, but not actually taking any kind of accountability for anything.
I found her so annoying. She did really hurtful things to people. And her entire attitude about it was like, I was just being silly. No big deal. You know what? I've let go of it. And it's like, it's been 4 weeks. Her mental illness is like actually disturbing. Like watching her, I was like, who is this person? This is not the person we saw in the villa. This is someone who came out, realized she had a lot of fans, talked to her management team, and they said, you have to be easy breezy. You cannot get mad, laugh it off, make it a joke. And that's what she did. And I think it made her look awful. Honestly, I get not wanting to blow
out
up,
of touch.
But like acting almost condescending. Alandria and Chelley are like crying. Like these two women experienced racist hatred. They put Alandria's face on George Floyd's body. They had someone giving Chelley like a knuckle sandwich. Like all of this crazy stuff was happening online. And they told her immediately, like, these are your people actually who are doing this. And she was like, oh, I was just like really overwhelmed. And people were racist to me too. And it's like, okay, well, that's not an apology. Yeah. And then when after saying all that, she was like, but I don't condone bullying. I don't condone that I was bullied. I'm like, you were not bullied. That scene where they showed her like looking at them and them being like, what is she looking at? That is not bullying. That was just people having a conversation. Well, what the heck is wrong with people?
The only time they were really even fully talking about her in like a negative way is when they were like, she's looking at us like trying to intimidate us because she thinks we're talking about her.
Well, yeah. And they had said like she charged Iris and they were worried, like legitimately worried about her. Like that's how crazy that girl was. Like, I don't know. I find her insufferable. And I'll be happy when I'm happy the season's over because I don't want to talk to her anymore.
Well, and they re-showed that scene where Huda came back and told Chelley, like, hey, I brought Chris back for you. And Shelley's like, well, you didn't really bring him back for me. Like, that's not how this works. Yada. She's like, no, I brought him back for you. Mm-hmm. For us. But like, for you. And she's like, well, I don't really see it that way. She's like, for us, for you. Isn't that great? And yeah. I'm like, wow, this is the kind of like gaslighting manipulation that we've been talking about. But they didn't show that on the original season. That was like an extra clip they brought.
Well, what I thought was interesting about that was that she felt really validated and justified by it because she had said, I'm bringing him for you. Of course, he's shown interest in me. So like, I want to do this too. What she wasn't understanding and what Chelley had a hard time articulating was like, Shelley's body language wasn't like, thank you. It was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I don't know how I'm supposed to react to this. So I'm just going to say, okay, because I can't really do anything about it. And then Huda was like, no, I told you that. And Shelley's like, no, I know you told me. We had multiple conversations, but the problem was Huda doesn't care about anybody who's not Huda. She cannot understand how other people have feelings and thoughts and how they are not the same as hers. Like, genuinely cannot empathize with people. And it's like, I'm the sweetest person you'll ever meet. Oh my goodness.
So let's cover some of the Jeremiah of it all.
Yeah.
What are some of your initial thoughts on Jeremiah's contribution to the reunion?
I mean, I felt like it was kind of small. I feel like he was honest about his situation. I mean, him with Huda, we've covered that a million times, like that situation. I find it interesting that Jeremiah like aligns so much with Alston now. Which I'm like, red flag. But I don't know. I think it was good for him to see that Nick actually wanted him to stay. I think it was good that, I mean, he and Austin have like massive beef with Ace. And that's like what I saw the most through it, is that Ace, I mean, I don't really want to hate on him. I don't think he's a bad kid. I mean, he's 22, you know, like whatever. But he was doing things to try to control the villa, which is normal in a game show. Like, I get that. I think the hard part,
there is
for them,
gameplay to it.
Yeah, is that he just like wouldn't admit it. And I think that's what annoyed everybody. And then the edits and the cuts show that it wasn't Nick who wanted to go along with everything. It was Taylor.
Yeah.
And somehow
absolutely.
Taylor like escaped the ire of that in the reunion.
Well, and I think the biggest thing is that any kind of Jeremiah hate or any kind of Jeremiah did something wrong narrative is just nonsense.
Yeah.
He did not gaslight anybody. He didn't love bomb anybody. I mean, literally, they went back and had all of the receipts, showed all of it. And I'm really glad that Andy had the fortitude to be like, look, you say that you weren't doing any of this stuff, that you can't see it. And he's like, I've just got to be honest. When I look back at it, I just can't see anything about this other than manipulation and crashing out and just being inappropriate. And so like, explain yourself. And she's like, well, you know, I was just being authentically me. And yeah. Andy's eyes were like,
it's like, yeah, no, that's why we think you're bonkers.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Jeremiah knew she was going to say that again, and he came with receipts. He was like, if you're love bombing, it has to be X, Y, and Z. I don't know how I could possibly love bomb you when what we were fighting about was you saying I actually wasn't doing enough. Like, you cannot say both. You can't say you're not treating me in this like princess way that I want to be treated, but also you're love bombing me. He was like, pick a lane. And that's so true. She just heard other people say it and was like, that's happening. And Ace was saying it because I genuinely believe that he was very jealous of Jeremiah.
Well, I'll say this. I mean, one of the things that really, you know, having a podcast, the hindsight on what you say on these things is 20/20, you know, and all during our Love Island coverage, I defended Austin.
You did.
Left and right. And not even defended him. Really, I just liked him. And a lot of people were giving him hate for being MAGA coded and stuff, which I don't. I mean, obviously, I hate that. But I was just like trying to enjoy the fact that he just was like a fun loving character on the show. I mean, but in this reunion, he
powered off a few times.
He could literally not even put a sentence together.
Let me tell you, that man was so high. His eyes were red.
He had
red circles. They were all bloodshot. I'm like, wow, you really had to smoke a lot before this.
He chiefed down a blunt right before he came out there.
Sure.
Because he was whipped when he came out there. And Andy asked him a question and he was just like, it was like his brain was on reset. It was like, Oh, no. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, sorry, I just I powered down there for a second.
I'm like, Austin, you're on TV, bro. And when they cut back to the British guy and he was like taking a nap, I'm like, what is going on?
He did it again. I mean, he did it again several times throughout it. And I'm just like, I can't defend this man, even though I'd like to.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Austin, I just never was into. I also think I didn't like how he ended up treating, what was her name, Jaden?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm glad that she dragged him for that. He was like, well, that's not entirely true.
Yeah, all I asked of you was I knew that we were not like in an official relationship. all I asked is just don't embarrass me. So
Yeah.
if you're going to have sex with somebody else, or you're going to like, be
Take
doing
people
this,
on dates. Yeah.
taking people on dates, like out in public with all of this attention on us, like, please just let me know. Cause then at least I can say when people are in my comments and stuff like, hey, we're not in a relationship. Like we're having fun, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, but you didn't do that. It was very like, you didn't do that at all. You did exactly what you told me you wouldn't do. And he was just like, well,
technically I didn't say I would do that. And then Andrina was like, no, you did. I was literally sitting there reading the text.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I think it was interesting. I mean, the only couple that's going to end up staying together from that is probably Ace and Chelley.
Yeah, which, I mean, my Lord, it just keeps coming out that they knew each other longer and longer.
2022. Yeah.
It's like, oh, I had no idea. I was like, oh, come on. They were liking each other's stuff back in 2022.
Well, I think what you said or what they said probably happened where like they found each other's thing and then he just went back.
And then you're like, are the weirdo who scrolls all the way back in their timeline, starts liking like bikini photos and stuff.
If a man did that to me, I would be like, I need to alert the FBI. This man's
first of all, you're blocked. We're not going to be in a relationship later.
Yeah, no, you're already way too thirsty. Like, absolutely not.
That's pretty much all I have on the Love Island of it all. But I did have one thing to tell you. So I was watching a podcast a bit of a podcast that came up on my feed last night. And it was Kristen Doute very recently talking about like her time just in reality TV. And like one of the things that they brought up on there was the fact that she's like a sleuth. Like she basically can get information out of anyone. She can find out the truth. She can get to the heart of the matter. And that production used her on several instances to figure out who on production was leaking information to the press. And she went through one of these stories where like she had a friend in production and she called this person and was like, I think this has to be a production leak. We need to get to the bottom of this. And he's like, well, just do whatever you normally do to find out. And she did on 2 separate occasions. Suppose somebody who was leaking information to the press and had them fired from Bravo.
Detective Dodie, baby.
I mean, the name really fits.
It does. And that's why it's so funny at their reunion when someone was saying she was a liar. She was like, I'm a lot of things. I'm not a liar. I've lied about really specific things that I've admitted to lying to. And she also did a terrible job lying about them.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is like the moment that Tom actually, like, I mean, one thing obviously is like, yes, I guess you could say she lied about having sex with Jack. They just weren't telling anyone. But then when Tom asked her straight up, like, I know, she like went through the whole timeline and was like, this is what happened. This is exactly, I'm sorry. Like, I just didn't want this to blow up our life. It was a really stupid thing that I did. Like, and even I think Tom, I mean, one thing about Tom in that whole situation, other than like his manipulative crying and stuff from time to time, like, I feel like he took that on chin, probably because he wasn't in love with her anymore.
I was about to say he was begging for her to leave him.
But I feel like on the whole, he accepted all that information with the exception of like beating the crap out of Jax and coming to actual fisticuffs.
Well, he accepted it because he liked Ariana. Like it wasn't rocket science.
So that was already going on. That she was already working at the place and everything. Yeah. Well, I try to help him, but he's unhelpable. I don't know
why. You're like a weird male apologist for all
Not
these
a weird
awful...
male apologist. It's just Bravo male apologists.
Yeah, I know. That's worse.
But never Jax, never Jesse.
Well, congrats. Just the 2 raging narcissists that you won't defend, but all the rest of them you will.
And I actually used to defend Schwartz a lot, and I don't defend Schwartz at all now. I think Schwartz may be the worst out of all of them, to be honest.
He's more diabolical because it's under the radar.
Yeah. 100%.
I think the others, like, they're awful. And so if that's a choice you've made, all right. But the guys who seem like they're nice guys, but they're just wishy-washy, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no. And this is what I want to say to all the women out there who are dating someone like, will he want me? Will he won't he? We've been together for a long time. I don't know if he's going to propose. If he wanted to, he would. Get out. Get out. If you're having to like cajole some man to do something, it's not worth it. He's going to waste your time.
what other things did you want to talk about?
I thought you were doing the list this week, so I didn't stress my noggin out looking for stuff. I do want to talk about the Amanda Knox Hulu series. I'm obsessed. I didn't watch the documentary. I remember the Amanda Knox trial in real time because I was in grad school or college. Can't remember. College, right? It was like 2007 when it happened.
Yep.
And it's just so interesting to like see someone your age having gone through this crazy thing and like looking back where they were trying to act like she was some sort of like sex addict because she had slept with 7 men. And oh my God, I just forgot how outrageous it was.
Well, and there was no, like, one thing that social media has given us is the ability to, in some ways, show receipts about what happened and what we were doing and what the relationships with people are like, because we have these, like, long text threads and we have locations and we have all of these different things that we can show. Right. But back then, it's just like a paparazzi newspaper could come and just make up a complete story, and there was no way to affect public opinion. I mean, this happened in a lot of trials around that same time here in America with the O.J. Simpson trial and all these different things. Like, public opinion somehow really, really mattered in all of these like trials, and definitely in Italy where this was happening. Like, this story was front page news, Foxy Knoxy, all this stuff. I mean, it really is fascinating. And it was driven by like really one or two of these like really popular paparazzi or I guess they're not paparazzi, but they write for these kinds of publications, these two guys. And then the main investigator, who obviously just like hated women and was like
also
super
a prosecutor.
Religious.
Yeah, it was very. He kept saying like, God has chosen me, like I have this special gift. And it also like lingered from this case that he was unable to solve. I'm like, wow, you're so gifted that you were unable to solve a case and then you did one wrong. Wow, God really loves you. He smiled upon you.
But I find, you know, we were just talking about this, like after watching the full Amanda Knox documentary and then like the little bit that I've seen of this show, I think like she was in some ways an easy mark because she's just one of those people, and I have people like this in my life who just does not respond the way that most people would respond in like a tense situation. And so like she wasn't, and especially I think with some of the like gender norm type stuff of like, she's not crying, she's not erratic, she's not, you know, flipping out, she's not scared enough. Like, it's like they saw that as her being like diabolical or manipulative or, you know,
well, and it's crazy too.
Cold.
She was American, so like part of how she responded was not in like an Italian way, and then part of it was like she could only like half understand what they were saying. They were hitting her in the back of the head. They weren't letting her sleep. Like, she was up for 36 hours afterwards and was like pretty delirious.
Well, and I don't really remember like everything that led to her exoneration, but I mean, her parents were reaching out to the American embassy, to the president, to all these things, and literally like no one was helping.
Yeah.
I mean, that is scary as crap. That you could send your daughter overseas on like study abroad, and all of this could just transpire and it all be bull, and she's like locked up in an Italian prison in a small city somewhere. You know, how many ever miles away.
Yeah, it's wild. And it's also like so interesting to me that Amanda Knox has managed to stay in like the public ether for 15, 16, almost 20 years.
Well, and I think part of that story, that like the part of it that we were talking about a few minutes ago, like that there was no social media. It was almost like the last story of this kind.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that had this much attention in the media, but did not have, like, I mean, think about not to bring up this crazy situation, but like the Brian Koberger stuff. Like, we know everything about that because of all the cell data and the timeline that could be created because of the cell phones and the CCTV outside. I mean, they had everything. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's absolutely crazy. All of his web searches and everything else. Like, I mean, what's so good, like, I will commend that group of people because that stuff didn't come out until after the trial was done. So how they kept all that under wraps, like all the like details of the actual crime. I mean, I don't like that it was released after the fact, honestly, for the family's sakes. Yeah. But like they kept that out of the media during that entire trial, which is hard.
Well, every time I watch something like this, I'm like, one thing I won't be doing is cooperating with law enforcement. Like, you want me to come in and talk to you? I will be there with a lawyer. Thank you so much. No. I will not be like offering my services, because one thing I know about cops is that if they can't figure out immediately who it is, they're looking for a mark to create a story around.
Well, let me ask you this question.
And that's not going to be me.
Let me ask you this question. So you're on the highway and you're pulled over and they're like, we think that you might be drunk, but you haven't been drinking. Are you going to submit to a field sobriety test or blow there on the side of the road? Or are you going to have them arrest you? If
I know I haven't been drinking, I'll probably submit to a test.
Okay.
Because I don't really want to get arrested for no reason when I could just go on my merry way.
Yeah. I always wonder because like that's where they can drop something in your car. That's where they're going to do like a search.
I would say like, can I follow you to the precinct and I'll do it there?
Well, they're not going to do that.
They do. They offer that.
If you've been drinking, no, they take you to the precinct.
Oh,
and then they do the test there.
I see.
They're not going to let you drive.
Yeah. That I don't know.
I would not. I mean, I would submit to the test. I'm just saying you're saying you won't commit. You will not cooperate with the cops.
Well, what I mean more is like if something big happens and people are being questioned about it, if they're like, I'm going to question you, I'd be like, great, I'll have my lawyer there. And
the crazy thing is like there are options. Like you don't have to submit to the test.
That's
like,
my point.
You can have them arrest you and pray to God on your way to the precinct you sober up.
Because that's true. That gives
you know
people
what I'm
time.
Saying? Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Like,
well, I like aside from like a field sobriety test, that's not really what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is if there's like a big, like a murder crime or something like that.
Like a true crime.
A criminal thing. I am not talking to any run-of-the-mill cop without someone present because they really try to make you tired. They leave you in there for a long time alone. Then they come in and start asking like leading questions and trying to like put things together, make suggestions. Like they know how to do all of that. And one thing about me, I would be like, am I free to go? And if they said yes, I'd be like, all right, if you need me, let me know. I'm going to go call my lawyer because it seems like I might need one. And we'll go from there. Next time I see you, it will be with them.
I mean, you think about like if I had kids, like I just remember listening to Serial for the first time.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And like what they did to Adnan Syed, like whether he did it or not. Like questioning him without his parents for like hours and hours and hours, and the other kids involved, whether they were involved or not, being questioned for hours and hours without a lawyer, without their parents.
Without
sleep. That's
Yeah.
just nuts.
Yeah. So those are the things that I would be like, unless I'm being held against my will, I will be exiting. Thank you so much. And next time you see me, it will be with the best lawyer I can find. Because they get so much random information. And also what I know from like traumatic experiences is that, especially immediately after, it's really hard for your brain to piece things together. And so you could give them information that seems true to you in that moment and it's not. And then they're like, oh, you perjured yourself, or, oh, you said this and now it's this. Now the jury thinks you're a liar. You know, like you have to like protect your brain.
I want someone who knows the law sitting there with me.
Yeah.
Like to be able to lean over to me and say like, you don't have to answer that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Or like,
That's
no. Like, yeah, exactly. Like to me, if I'm being questioned about anything, I'm asking for a lawyer.
1,000%.
I'll sit. If I'm
not going to answer anything because they can't use that against me. So if someone brings me in and they're like, we want to talk to you about X, Y, and Z, I'd be like, okay, am I free to go? Do I need to call an attorney? Because what they try to say is, oh, if you call an attorney, that's going to make you look guilty. I don't care. You already have some type of thought about me right now. And what I'm not going to do is give you anything to go off of. So.
Well, and it's like, well, she called a lawyer immediately. And it's like, oh, you mean I exercise my rights?
Oh, I'm sorry. I've listened to crime podcasts for 13 years. I know what's happening. And
I'm
I will
not
not be
getting
part of
Amanda
it.
Knox up in here.
Absolutely
It's
not.
not happening.
I'm not getting Foxy Knoxied over something I didn't do. So absolutely not. Now, I cannot believe that we have gone 40 minutes into this podcast and have not mentioned the engagement of Taylor and Swift. God bless America. That was my July 4th.
Of mother and father.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Your
What are
gym
the-
teacher and your English teacher got married or got engaged. I love it.
Oh, well, yeah, I think it's been. What's so nuts about this is everyone accuses them of everything, like of just being so manipulative of the timeline and all this stuff. Like, you know, Travis has like the American Eagle thing come out like a few days later. And I'm like, guys, let these people live.
They let us know about it. Like, that's such a gift, and had a photo shoot. And I'm so happy for her. I love that this 35, almost 36-year-old woman waited until she found someone who really worked with her, who wasn't in any way intimidated. Like, one thing I love about Travis was that he was like, should I get on stage with you? Like,
oh yeah, I love that.
And like committed to the bit with everything, like talks about her like she is the most incredible creature who's ever walked. I mean, it started because he publicly was like, I love Taylor Swift. I chose to go to her concert. Like,
oh yeah,
he knew the songs. I'm like, there is something to that like she's wanted her entire life. Like, since she was a teenager, wanted the guy on the football team, you know?
I think she avoided that kind of love because she thought she needed some, you know, quiet, reserved,
like
artist.
Kind of heady.
Yeah, like I think she was addicted to guys who wanted to make her feel dumb, even though she's obviously not. Like, you think about these guys she's dated, and I'm just like...
Yeah. Well, they were also intimidated by her, and they always wanted to make her feel like she was some basic bitch because a lot of people liked her. And a lot of women liked her. And so,
100%.
like, I think anything women enjoy, pumpkin spice lattes, God forbid we enjoy, like, getting cozy with a glass of wine and watching a rom-com. God forbid we like Taylor Swift.
That's not basic. It's fun.
And that's my point. But, like, things that are fun for women, by and large, and this doesn't have to apply to everybody, but by and large, anything like that, the ether will be like, that's so basic. Like, it's so embarrassing that you like that. I'm like, I'm sorry, I like things I enjoy.
I will not have anyone yuck my yum. I'm a Dave Matthews fan. I literally have a Dave Matthews shirt on.
You are.
It's the most. It is.
You go hard for Dave,
and it's embarrassing. I mean, it should be embarrassing. It's what people will tell me, and I will not have it.
No,
I will not be ashamed
because
of my
you love
fandom.
it.
And I will also say this: we celebrate women on this podcast,
as we should.
Period. And the other night, my friend Nolan was able to secure free tickets to see the Mayhem Ball. The Lady Gaga Mayhem Ball. And when I tell you, it was the most amazing concert I have ever been to. I have never seen an artist at the top of their game. No shade to Taylor, but my good Lord, this thing was a piece of artwork.
Stephanie put her pussy in it.
Oh, my word.
She knew what she was doing.
We're going with the P word on the podcast.
I can do what I want. I have one, so I can talk about it. Thank you.
Okay, great. Well, okay, wonderful. I will not be using the P word on this podcast.
And you shouldn't.
Okay. Anyway, but I will just say, like, any haters of Lady Gaga, I will not hear it. I will not hear I don't like it. I won't hear, oh, I don't know. Nope. Yeah. No.
Shut it.
She is a generational artist.
She is the moment. Yeah. No, she's
literally
fantastic. She's
my gosh. I was blown away. And the love that her fans have for her, it is unlike anything I've ever witnessed in my life. Like, the love in that room, just amongst all the people that were there, like, you could feel it. And I said this to Nolan while I was sitting there, and some people will be offended by this. I don't care. It felt like church is supposed to feel. You know what I mean? Like, it felt like we were all there together doing something important, like love each other. Like, it really felt like a spiritual experience. It was very, very good.
I think music can be that. Music and community in a space like that, and art, like, it can be a really spiritual experience. We were talking about that even when we were at the art museum, about how
100%.
When you, like, allow yourself to get into it, it is spiritual. Well, I'm so glad you got to go. It was crazy. We got home, and as we were on the plane flying, you got that text, and you were like, I'm going to go sit in VIP seats to watch Lady Gaga. And I was like, well,
I'll literally never forget it. I will never forget it as long as
I think you should talk about your manifestation too, because...
So Rachel's been trying to get this. We'll end with this, and you can take it for what it is. But Rachel's been trying to talk me into her manifestation game for quite a long time. She does manifestation journals. She does her astrology stuff in the mornings, like all these things. And I was very skeptical. Probably like 2 or 3 years ago, I was very, very skeptical of all of it.
You told me I was going to bring a demon in our house.
Well, yeah, I was joking about that, but yes, I did do that. I was very skeptical about this, all of this stuff. I was kind of scared about it because I grew up in an environment where people would tell me that like astrology would steal my soul.
Well, so did I. I just didn't care.
Yeah. You didn't care. That's the difference in our personalities. Taurus, Pisces. So I will say that I started giving it a shot. I'm going to do a manifestation journal. And one of the things for the last like 3 months that I've been manifesting every single day, almost as a joke, was because I could not get tickets to Lady Gaga. I wanted to go to this so badly because I love every song on the new album and I listen to it all the time. And I
and our friends were going.
Yeah, and just like at the very top of my manifestations every single day, I just wrote Lady Gaga tickets. Lady Gaga tickets. Go to Lady Gaga.
And you were just manifesting that one would come available cheap enough where you could
yeah, that I could pay for it.
Yeah. The day of, they were still like $1,000. Yeah.
And sure enough, day of the concert, I get a free ticket to go see it. Sit back, get to go to this friends and family thing. I didn't get to meet her or anybody cool, but it was awesome. Free food, free drinks, and we got to sit right behind the sound guy. So like where in the stadium or the venue that the show is designed to be seen from. I mean, it was just absolutely incredible. Absolutely.
Well, I was jealous, but I'm happy for you.
Yes. Well, I appreciate that you did not, that you, I honestly, like, I thought about how grateful I was for you that day that you did. Cause I just have to admit, I wouldn't have been as happy for you as you were for me. I would have cried. I would have been like, I'm so glad you get to go. And then when you left, I would have been really upset.
No, I was fine with it. I knew how much the truth is I didn't listen to the new album as much. So I'm like, I wouldn't know all the songs in the same way. And I knew how much you liked it. And I was like, this is so cool that he gets to go.
Every song. Yeah.
Yeah. So I knew I would not be able to appreciate it to the same level anyway. So no big deal. Well, back to the Taylor Swift thing, though. I have to say a couple of things. One, obsessed with her ring. Absolutely obsessed. That woman picked that out. Like, no doubt. That was custom done by
Oh my gosh.
Taylor
You do not buy a engagement
ring
for Taylor Swift without asking, what exactly do you want this to
Give
look?
me your precise specifications. I'm so happy for her. I cannot wait to see what her wedding dress is. Like, is she going to be vintage? Which era is she coming from?
And how will she reveal all of that? And
she will. I mean, she gave us engagement photos. She'll definitely give us wedding dress photos. So I'm stoked about that. And I saw this meme that was like, the person who loves you most in the world is the person who texts you about Taylor Swift. We were in Barcelona. So I had my phone off while we were out. We were actually out getting like tapas and having sangria when our friend Madison, who did our first episode with us, texted us both, but Brandon saw, and he was like, he had the exact reaction every woman in America wanted her husband to have. He was like, you're not going to believe this. Taylor Swift got engaged.
I think the words that she texted us are they're getting married. And I was like, we
couldn't download the picture because she had sent that over and it wasn't coming through. And we're like, what?
Because we are always in our, text thread talking about everybody.
But yeah,
so I was like, who's getting married here? Who's already not married? I thought it was some lunatics that we know, but it wasn't.
Well, what I love about that text chain is that you two will go on Facebook, will screenshot and share things with one another that people I forgot existed. But y'all have them on your radar. Like, I do not social media stalk people. I don't want to. There are crazy people that we used to know that I don't want in my feed. And so I won't do it. And
one
so
thing
they'll
about
send
me,
each other all these stupid videos. And I'm like, don't send that to me. I don't want my algorithm to think that I want this.
one thing about me is I will friend request
Anybody.
anyone. I meet you one time, friend request. Somebody's telling me a story about somebody, I'll friend request them.
It is
Like,
so
I'm not
unhinged.
completely, and no shame.
And I would rather die. Like even though I think people would assume the opposite about us based on our personalities, I would never. I'm like, let them have their piece. I don't want to know everything about everybody. I got no interest in that.
If somebody is a tertiary part of the story that someone is telling me, I will go on Facebook or Instagram and friend them so that I can have some context.
Our acquaintances' parents.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Just get in. And then he'll be like, hey, so-and-so's having a baby. And I'm like, they didn't post anything. He's like, their mom posted something on Facebook. I'm like, what? Like, he gets in there and people like allow it and then just forget that he's there lurking.
I am. I'm like Kristen Doute.
You are.
I get in
You're
there.
a
I'll
lurker.
find out.
You and Madison both, y'all could figure out when someone's had a breakup. You could figure out when someone's moved, like with no one saying anything. And
somebody,
for me,
we can tell if someone's in mental anguish.
Well, that's not too hard based on the people you're talking about. Social media profiles.
Anyway.
I just couldn't care less. I don't know. I don't have that kind of energy to do these things.
Well, it's been a good episode. We're actually about to head to dinner with some friends, but go follow us on all of our accounts. Popsnitch.com has the links to everything. Rachel and I are actually talking about the format of this going forward. We're going to maybe try a new format over the next couple of weeks. So keep listening and we appreciate you.
And go on wherever you're listening to this, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star review. Like that would help us so much.
And we will read yours on the podcast.
Yes. If you give us a review, you could say anything unhinged that you want and we will say it aloud.
Yeah. And make it easier on us. Screenshot it and send it to us on our Instagram and we'll read them from there.
Yeah, we could do that too. Either way, the 5-star review is huge for like boosting the pod. And we definitely want to do that. So thank you so much. We need to do this at the beginning of the podcast instead of waiting till the end. All right, bye.